swear I was fully awake when I saw her in the second-floor window. She smiled like she already knew my name and maybe my ending. That was the moment the forest started watching me back. I was 17 when my parents dragged me to a half-dead resort in the Carpathian Mountains, middle of nowhere. Snow melting into gray slush, the kind of place that smells like wet wood and old heaters. It was supposed to be relaxing. Cheap rooms, no crowd, just Dulles nursing coffees and pretending they weren't bored out of their minds. That was the first red flag. No kids, no noise, just silence thick enough to press against your ears. I remember thinking the place felt paused, like someone had hit stop on the world and forgot to press play again.
I wandered away from the main lodge that first morning, kicking pebbles along a frozen path. That's when I felt it. You know that instinct when someone's staring at you? I looked up. Second floor, end room. A girl stood behind the glass. Pale skin, dark hair pulled back tight. She looked normal enough, pretty even. I lifted a hand in that awkward half-wave people do when they're not sure they should. She didn't wave back. She didn't blink either. The rest of the day dragged. Lounge music, whispered conversations, the smell of burnt coffee clinging to everything. I kept scanning faces, looking for her. Nothing. That night, I dreamed I was walking through snow that sounded like breathing when I stepped on it. I woke up with my heart racing and the weird certainty that someone had been standing just outside my door. Nothing was there, just the hallway light humming, tired, annoyed.
Behind the resort, half swallowed by trees, there was a playground. Rusted swings, cracked plastic slide. It felt forgotten, like it hadn't seen laughter in years. I sat on one of the swings, letting it creak beneath me. That's when I saw her again. She stood near the tree line, far enough back that shadows cut into her shape. Same girl, same stillness, only this time something was off. Her face didn't sit right, like the features were arguing with each other. I don't know why I stood up. Boredom, curiosity, hormones, probably all of it mixed together. With every step, the air felt colder. Her eyes looked wrong up close, not dead, not empty, focused, too focused. Her mouth twitched like it was trying to remember how smiling worked. Just before I reached her, she ran. Not panicked, not scared, efficient, straight into the forest.
I stopped at the tree line. The forest smelled wet and sour, like rot under snow. No birds, no wind, just my own breathing, loud, shaky. Something in me screamed not to follow. So I didn't. I told myself she was just a weird kid messing with me. That explanation felt thin, but it was easier than the alternatives. I never saw her again at the resort. No windows, no paths, no reflections in glass, and somehow that made it worse. On the drive home, mountains fading into gray distance, she crept back into my thoughts. What if I'd followed her? What if that was the point? The road stretched on, empty and slick with melting ice.
I was half asleep when my stomach dropped. There she was, standing on the shoulder of the road. No coat, no snow on her boots, just watching the car approach like she'd been waiting for it. As we passed, she turned her head, slow, deliberate, and locked eyes with me through the tinted window. Her mouth opened, not to smile, to recognize me. I shouted. My parents slammed the brakes. They looked, then looked at me. There was no one there, no footprints, no figure, just trees and dirty snow and the road humming under the tires. They told me I'd imagined it, that exhaustion does weird things. I nodded, accepted it. What choice did I have? That was years ago. I don't dream about her anymore. But sometimes, in reflections, dark windows, phone screens, quiet roads, I catch that familiar stillness, that feeling of being identified, not hunted, chosen. So tell me this. If something follows you only when no one else is looking, does that make it unreal or just patient? If stories like this stay with you longer than they should, maybe that means you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Stay close.